On to news from Ukraine in our top five. The situation is escalating in its restive east, where sporadic clashes have broken out between pro-Russian forces and government troops. And according to Ukrainian officials, 9 border guards have been wounded in violence in Slavyansk overnight. Fierce clashes have also been reported in the cities of Slavyansk and Donetsk. The violence comes despite a unilateral ceasefire declared by the government to curb militancy in the restive east. Hundreds of people have been killed in the fighting between pro-Russian groups and government forces over the past 2 months. Marcus Papadopoulos, who's a publisher and editor of Politics First, joins us from London to share his thoughts on this. Marcus Papadopoulos, welcome to the top five. We can go back to the Vienna Declaration. I don't know if you remember that. It was a month and a half ago, maybe. Up to now, about 4 different ceasefires in one form or another has been announced. None have come into fruition. Is this most recent one, I forget, it's a 14 or 15-point peace plan by Poroshenko. Do you think that it's going to stick? Or are we looking at this situation continuing?
Well, I think the world needs to be very cautious when Petro Poroshenko claims that he wants to bring peace to eastern Ukraine. He wants to resolve the dispute in eastern Ukraine in a peaceful manner. Let's remember, it's been more or less a month since Petro Poroshenko was inaugurated as the president of Ukraine. And I say president in quotation marks. And since then, we have heard Poroshenko claim that he wants to resolve the conflict peacefully, that he's got numerous peace plans, but at the same time, his forces and also militia forces made up of neo-Nazis and neo-fascists are still fighting a bloody war in eastern Ukraine, a bloody war which is resulting in casualties on a daily basis. Civilians, men, women and children and elderly people dying every day or being maimed every day. So we have to be very cautious when he claims that he wants peace there. And also we're hearing that he's warning that he has a plan B. And the plan B will be to bring back those regions of eastern Ukraine, the Donetsk and Lugansk oblasts, by force if necessary. Well, he's doing that at the moment. He's using force to try and subdue those 2 regions. But he's also making it very clear that this plan B will do the same, but potentially with more military hardware going there. So I think the future is bleak in regard to eastern Ukraine, and I think it's also very significant to point out that Poroshenko is really a puppet. He's taking his orders from Washington and Brussels. The Americans and the Europeans now have their man in power in Kiev. They didn't have that with President Yanukovych, the democratically elected president of Ukraine. They got rid of him because he wanted to pursue closer economic relations with Russia. But now they have Poroshenko. They have a puppet in Kiev, and Poroshenko is doing the bidding of the Americans and the Europeans. He's already made it clear this week that he intends to sign the association agreement with the European Union.
Exactly, indeed. Thank you very much. We're going to unfortunately have to leave it there. Marcus Papadopoulos, publisher and editor of Politics First there from London.